Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys? I am so excited to be here with you today. I am bringing you a fabulous card. I hope you're going to absolutely adore it as much as I do. It has some watercolor daisies. I'm using this background stamp here called Daisy Garden, and it is super awesome. And I want to show you that you can use background stamps to be your focal of your card, which is my focus this entire week, that they don't have to just be a background. So we're also pairing it with Slim Sayings. We're going to be using this "You Are Really Fabulous" saying, as you can see here on our card. So let's go ahead and get started so I can show you how to make this fantastic card. So we're going to start with a piece of 5.5 by 8.5 inch rich raspberry cardstock, and I've scored it at 4 1/4 down the center. I'm going to use my bone folder, and I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to meet my corners here, or try to get them to meet. And once I have them, I'm going to hold them in place, and I'm going to press my bone folder, which will get my card to stay. Now I have a piece of designer series paper, and it's 5.5 by 3 inches, and I'm going to attach it to this corner. Now it is from our assortment of our DSP assortment. It comes in all the colors, and this print is only available for a small amount of time. This particular one is available, I think, for another week. So if you want it, definitely check the link and hit it up. May 2nd is the last day to purchase it, or if it sells out prior, but it is the Regal's assortment, and it is super awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my seal adhesive, and I'm going to put that on the back. You can see the back is also a really cool print, but I wanted to use this really cool plaid. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach that onto my front of my card. And I'm just gonna double check that there's nothing overhanging, because nothing is worse than having that little extra paper showing itself. I think everything else is good. So I always trim the end. I tend to leave it a little bit bigger. I just want to make sure that it covers the whole surface. So that is our main piece here. Now, this section of our flowers, we are going to stamp on a piece of basic white, which is 5.5 by 3 inches. We're going to do our flowers with that. Now, I do have another piece of basic white that is going to be attached on the inside, and I'll show you the inside of this card. It has a main white mat, and then I've added some more of these flower pieces from the outside to the inside. So let's go ahead and attach this piece on the inside as well. Just get it off my desk and onto my card, and then we'll get to the main components. So I'm just gonna attach this. Again, this is 5 1/4 by 4 inches, and it forms a nice little mat on the inside of your card. So I'm just gonna go ahead and close that, and we're gonna get started on our flower section, and I'm gonna stamp our words. We're gonna be using shaded spruce for the words, and it says, "You really are fabulous." So I'm gonna ink my stamp up, and this stamp is from Slim Sayings. It's a pretty awesome stamp set, and it's in the January to June mini catalog. It's available until June 30th of 2022. So I'm going to stamp this on the right side here. Love that. Close this for a minute. We're going to clean our stamp, because I always do that so that I don't make a mess. So there we go. This is our chamois that I use to clean, and it's in a clear stamp case, which you can purchase separately. You don't have to have it in a case. So what I'm going to do here is, I really have too much, so I'm just going to cut some off here. I didn't cut that very straight. But I'm going to dip into the center here, right in between, in the center of this width here, and then I'm going to come from the sides, and I am going to meet that piece like so with my scissors, and I'm going to make sure that I cut all the way up because I didn't, and that it snips that piece off. There we go. So that's how I made that piece there. So we're gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna set this off to the side with my card. We'll use it later. So I'm gonna show you how to do the flower section now. So we are going to take my Stamparatus where I have attached our large flower section, and I am going to open that up. I'm gonna move my paper out of the way. I'm gonna move the scrap paper that I keep on the inside there. And I am going to ink up my stamp. Hopefully I'm still in camera, I think I am. Gonna rub first, and then I'm gonna pat over the top. And I'm gonna try and figure out where I want, what flowers I want to fall onto my piece. And you can kind of see I have a small impression down here. I definitely want this tall flower to be in there, so I'm gonna, it doesn't have to be completely in, and I want some of this side flower, but I definitely want this full flower. So I'm just gonna kind of lay it about right there. Yeah, I think that will be good in this section right here. And then I'm gonna bring my stamp to this white paper, just like this. I'm gonna use a fist and I'm gonna press down, and you can actually stand up if you want and press. You get a lot more leverage. But what I like to do is I like to take my thumbs and I like to push on all of the flower petals and make sure that I have a good impression. Where all of those fall. And we're gonna be real careful, lift this up slowly and make sure that we do have a good impression, and we do. So I think that looks pretty awesome, actually. This one section right here might not be quite enough, so I'm gonna be real careful. Just give it one more thumb press. That looks awesome. And we're gonna pull this piece off. I'm gonna grab my scrap paper, put it down, move this out of the way for right now. So here is our little piece. Isn't it awesome? I think so. Now, we're gonna watercolor this scene. And so I have used shaded spruce, soft suede, and rich raspberry to do my coloring. And I have used my clear blocks, and I just chose 3 of my minis, my small ones. You can use any size that you have. You could use at the corner of a large one, all, 3 sides. But I'm going to actually ink up. I'm not going to put too much. I'm just going to put a little bit in that corner there. Let's do the same with this rich raspberry. Just a little bit of color there. And also our shaded spruce. Just add a little bit of color. So I have all of my color deposited onto my blocks. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my water painters. They come in a pack like this, and I'm gonna use the medium. This is the thinnest, the largest, and the medium-sized tip. And I have water in here. I don't know if you can see in the barrel, there's a bubble there. So there's water in there. You just unscrew it and fill it with water. And this is a brush. You can see my finger here, there's water on it. So we're good to go. I like to take a scrap. I keep a washcloth just for this art stuff. And I just use that on my desk to purge. So we're gonna start first with a leaf. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna deposit some water onto this block right here. And then I'm gonna mix this with that water. And I'm gonna grab as much as I want for how dark I want my piece to be. So I'm just gonna come in here and I'm gonna deposit. Now that's way too light for me, but it's a start, and I'm just gonna go ahead and let it fall down. I'm gonna use my washcloth to kind of dry that tip out. And I'm gonna pick up more straight color and not blend it this time as much. There's enough water on my water painter, and I'm just gonna come back across. I'm gonna go along the veining of the leaf. I'm gonna go along the veining of another leaf, and when I see that it starts to lighten slightly, I can go ahead and paint my leaf. Now I'm going to wait for this one to dry because I don't want to wet it too much more. So you kind of wait for it to dry and fill it in, but I'm going to my pieces and I'm just coloring in my leaves. So I'm just going to fill in this leafy area. Anything that should be green, we're just going to add that color to it. Okay, I'm going to purge my water painter here onto my cloth, and we're going to move on to the soft suede. Now this is the center of all of my flowers, and so I'm just going to stroke that in there and get my flower centers colored. I'm going to purge my water painter until it's clear. I'm going to pick up my rich razzleberry. I'm also going to drop a drop of water there. I'm going to make sure that my brush is fairly dry when I mix that. And I really want an intense color for this daisy. So I'm going to try and go pretty dark. You can see I'm stopping before I get to the point. I'm trying not to go outside of the line. Of course, you know, I'm not really an artist. I'm following the artist's lines as best I can. And I just really want to saturate this daisy nice and dark. I really want that dark color. So I'm just going to work my way around until I get my daisy completely colored in. I'm going to purge here because I'm going to be done, but that you get the basic idea. And when I'm done, I just use my rag here that I keep for all of my art stuff. I'm going to actually put this color on the inside. I don't want to muddy this outer section. And because I have purged my water painter here, this part of my washcloth is wet, so it makes it easy to clean off the ink. And so I have done that. Hopefully I didn't get too much on me. And so these blocks can be put away, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when it is completely dry and colored. So that is what it looks like once you've allowed it. Once you finish coloring, you need to allow it to dry. There is some buckling of the paper a little bit, but that is basically my flower section. So I'm going to bring in my guillotine cutter, and you can use just a regular paper trimmer. And I really want to cut, you know, some of this off. So I'm just going to pick a random size. It doesn't have to have any specific measurement, just how much I want to show of that flower. We're going to do that piece there. Then I'm going to slide it in again, and when I'm happy with how much I have into my trimmer here, I'm going to give it another cut, and that's going to be my second piece. And then we're going to get a third piece just like this. We're going to slide this in, and we're just going to give it one more cut. So those are the three for my front. Now I do have some on the inside, as you can see. So what I have done is I have cut a nice large piece, and then I've brought it to the end here and cut that large piece in half. And I have these two pieces for the inside. I have this left over, and I'm just going to get rid of it. I don't want just the green. I definitely want a lot of that saturated color. So those are how I get my pieces together. So now we're going to start assembling our card. So on the inside, as you can see, I just have the two thin pieces attached, one on the top, one on the bottom. Let's do those first. Bring my silicone mat in. I'm going to use my wet adhesive, And I'm going to attach one of these guys on the top if I can get my glue going. This one's almost finished, so I just gotta see if there's anything left in here. If there isn't, I brought a new one. I will open that one. I have it over here. There we go. So we will start a new one. And we're gonna go ahead and run a line. And I'm gonna start with this piece here. And I'm gonna attach that right here at the top, just leaving a little border of white. And then I'm gonna do the same thing here at the bottom. I'm just gonna add a little bit of this wet adhesive. And I'm gonna leave a little bit of white. And I'm gonna set this one into place. So there's the inside of our card. There's still plenty of room to write, but it does mimic the outside. So for the outside, I am not using the wet adhesive. I am actually using my dimensionals. And so I'm gonna go ahead and grab those, and we're gonna put those on the back of all of our pieces. So this one's a little bit wide, so I'm gonna actually need 6 of them, because I want to make sure that my corners are lifted. These are a little thinner, and so I can go with 3. And then our words here, we're gonna add some on here, and I'm also gonna put some minis, if I can find my minis. Here they are. In these points, I really want them not to fall, so I'm gonna stick those on the points there. Okay, so let's grab our Take Your Pick tool. We're gonna pull the backs off of our dimensionals. All right, we'll start with the words at the bottom here. So we're going to attach this onto the end. I love the sentiment, "You really are fabulous." I think it's a great sentiment to add to a card. And then we're going to start with this one. We're going to lay it about right there. We want it right to the edge. I'm not going to push them too hard, and then I'm going to do the big one on the top. And then that will help me to center my other one. And I'm just staggering them, but I just want about the same amount of space, which is why I went ahead and did the top and bottom, then the middle. So now we're just going to fill in with our dots, and I've chosen to use the classic matte dots today. So we're going to use the white ones. They're all the way at the top. So they have white, vanilla, gray, and black. We're going to use the other side of our Take Your Pick tool. I'm going to grab a large one. I'm going to put it up here in this corner, and then I'm going to do 2 small ones. We're going to put one here and one over here. I think that looks pretty awesome. I hope you guys like this card. I think it turned out really, really nice. So I hope that I have shown you how to watercolor so that you can color your flowers. And I hope that I've also showed you how awesome it is to just sometimes use a stamp set in a way that it wasn't intended. So this is supposed to be a background stamp set, but it really is the main focal of our card. I have really enjoyed being with you today. I hope that you've enjoyed the card. I would appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up. Check out my blog, Inky Hands Warm Hearts. I do blog every day, so there's always lots of inspiration there for you. I also would love it if you don't mind giving me a comment. Let me know what you think of this card and share my video. You can also share it to your Pinterest so that if you do want to do this technique and you just don't have time today, if you add it to your Pinterest, you'll have it there ready for when you are ready to do your card. Thanks again for watching. I have linked all the products that I've used today in the description below. If you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. If you need a catalog, the brand new catalog is coming out May 3rd of 2022. And if you need one, let me know. I'd be happy to send you one. If you choose me to be your demonstrator, I'd be happy to supply you with all the catalogs you need. And I appreciate your time. Thanks again for watching. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping!